Hola, soc na Maria Feliu Ramírez, soc una jove agricultora sense terres pròpies a Mallorca i form part d'un projecte familiar, totalment familiar, i d'agricultura ecològica. Un dels principals problemes en els quals m'he trobat jo com a pagesa és l'accés a les terres. Sense terres pròpies és molt difícil poder arribar a iniciar o a expandir algun projecte agrícola. A Mallorca, moltes de les terres estan baix la pressió del turisme i de l'urbanisme. Això fa que tant la compra com el lloguer sigui una cosa prohibitiva per una pagesa com jo. Un altre problema important a destacar és la manca de suport a les institucions. Les ajudes i les subvencions tendeixen a afavorir a les grans propietats o a les explotacions ja consolidades, deixant així a fora la petita pagesia. Tot i això, que en el món hi ha 570 milions de finques i un 90% ho gestionam la petita pagesia. A casa meva sempre ens hem dedicat a l'agricultura ecològica. I quan me menjo un aliment dels que hem produït nosaltres, me sento una privilegiada perquè sé que estic menjant, sé que m'estic ficant dins el meu cos i sé que estic consumint un aliment sa i de qualitat. I amb aquest missatge vull transmetre a les administracions i a la població en general que l'agricultura que practicam, especialment l'agricultura ecològica, té beneficis per a tothom, des de la salut del consumidor fins a la protecció del nostre entorn natural. I quan aposteu per el menjar ecològic i local, no només vos esteu cuidant a vosaltres mateixos, sinó que també esteu contribuint a construir una agricultura molt més sana, justa i respectuosa amb el medi ambient.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon also for those connecting from a different time zone around the world. So my name is Andres Gonzalez. I'm the communications manager for iFarm Organics International. And today is I Grow Your Food Day, and you know what that means. It means that today we're going to hear everything regarding what organic farmers are doing, what they need, and how can we support them. So with further ado, I would like to let you know that I Grow Your Food has been for already 6 years online. We have a big library of different videos from farmers all around the world talking about policies, talking about their current challenges, and how they envision the future for organic farming. Today, we will have a great panel with different people addressing specific issues that you will be really interested and encouraged to discuss on. Please ask anything that you want. We will try to collect the questions, and they will try to also answer your inquiries. Then there is something else I wanted to talk with you. This December, we have the OWC, the Organic World Congress, happening in December, and we want to invite you to log in, register, and see what is happening on one of the biggest organic events in the world. So let's go for another I Grow Your Food message, and then we come back to Shamika to start the show.
नमस्कार, माझं नाव प्रताप मारोडे आणि आमच्या एकत्रित कुटुंबाच्या 40 एकर शेतावर आम्ही सेंद्रिय शेती करतो आणि आमच्यासाठी आणि तुमच्यासाठी सेंद्रिय पद्धतीने अन्न पिकवतो. आपल्याला माहिती आहे की उत्क्रांतीच्या एका महत्त्वाच्या टप्प्यावर माणूस शेती करायला लागला साधारण 10,000 वर्षापूर्वी आणि त्याच्यानंतर कुटुंब व्यवस्था निर्माण झाली. आणि शेतीमध्ये विशेषतः सेंद्रिय शेतीमध्ये एकत्रित कुटुंब असल्याशिवाय आणि कुटुंबाने एकत्र येऊन शेती केल्याशिवाय शेती होऊच शकत नाही. आमच्या कुटुंबामध्ये सुद्धा आम्ही सुरुवातीला स्वतःसाठी अन्न पिकवायला सुरुवात केली आणि सेंद्रिय पद्धतीने विषमुक्त अन्न पिकवताना मग उरलेलं अन्न हे आम्ही जे काही आमच्या गरजा पूर्ण झाल्यानंतरचं अन्न आहे ते इतरांना विक्रीसाठी आम्ही ठेवतो. आमच्या कुटुंबामध्ये आम्हाला जे काही डाळी, वेगवेगळे धान्य जे काही लागतं ते सगळं आमच्या शेतामधून येतं आणि याच्यामध्ये आमच्या कुटुंबातील माझी आई ही बियाणं सांभाळण्याचं काम करते. माझे वडील हे वेळोवेळी महत्त्वाचा सल्ला देतात. माझे बहीण, माझे भाऊ हे मला प्रत्येक निर्णयामध्ये सहकार्य करतात आणि माझी पत्नी ही मला तंत्रज्ञानाच्या मदतीने शेतीत काय आपण करू शकतो याच्यासाठी मदत करते. आम्ही स्वतःसाठी अन्न पिकवताना असं लक्षात आलं की सेंद्रिय शेतीमध्ये बऱ्याचदा आपल्याला जे अन्न आपण पिकवत नाही त्याच्याशिवायचं अधिकचं अन्न भेटतं, जसं की रानभाज्या आहेत किंवा वेगवेगळी फळं आपोआप निसर्गातून निघणारी पपई किंवा सीताफळ असतील, वेगवेगळ्या रानभाज्या असतील, ह्या सुद्धा आम्हाला शेतातून खायला मिळतात. यासोबत आम्ही आमच्या शेतातील उत्पन्नाचा जो काही खर्च आहे आणि त्याच्यातून येणारा नफा याचा ताळेबंद ठेवतो, ज्याची आम्हाला निर्णय प्रक्रियेत मदत होते. यामध्ये सगळ्यात महत्त्वाची आणि आनंदाची गोष्ट ही आहे की आम्ही इतरांना तर विषमुक्त अन्न खाऊ घालतोच, पण आमच्या कुटुंबातील नवीन पिढीचे जे काही सदस्य आहेत ते या शेतांमध्ये खेळताना, बागडताना, त्यांची छोटी छोटी पावलं या शेतामध्ये पडताना आणि ते जे काही विषमुक्त अन्न यातून खातात, याचं जे काही समाधान आणि आनंद आहे तो काही वेगळाच आहे आणि तो आमच्यासाठी सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचा आहे.
So this is one of the many messages that are available for you to share on social media. Please go to our channels and share and exchange all your opinions about this great event. So I'm going to introduce now Shamika Monet. She's the World Board. She's one of the World Board members for iFarm Organics International, but she has also a prominent role, if not one of the most important ones in Inofo. I will let her introduce herself. Hi, Shamika. How are you?
Yes, thanks, Andres. I am good. And it's always very nice to come to this live stream of I Grow Your Food. And it is so inspirational that we always wanted to do this. And iFoam gives us this opportunity to share our voices as farmers within Inofo as well as in this live stream. Yes, so thanks, Andres, for this wonderful introduction to the OWC and I Grow Your Food. Now I take it from here. And yes, so myself, Shamika Monet. I am also an organic farmer growing rice and vegetables, and actually a researcher turned organic farmer since last 9 years. And also the president of Inofo. I don't know how many of you know, but Inofo is a sector platform of iFoam Organics International, which focuses on the voices and the needs of organic farmers. Inofo is intercontinental network of organic farmers organizations. And organic farmers organizations is what in Inofo we define is where the organic farmers have the decision-making power, or they are on the decision-making board of the organic farmer organizations, and not just as beneficiaries of an NGO. And so we are very proud to collaborate this with iFoam for this I Grow Your Food campaign. And I also want to tell that we have some speakers here today. 3 of the farmers who are from Inofo.
It seems we have a technical issue. So I'm going to take over while Shamika comes back. I can introduce our speakers in the meantime. So we have Guillermo Brady from FAO. Hi, Guillermo. How are you?
Hi, Andres. Nice to meet you. Nice to be with you.
Could you introduce yourself to our panel?
Sure. My name is Guilherme Brady. I work at FAO in headquarters, and I coordinate the unit on family farming, parliamentary networks, and communication for development. And this unit is also responsible to provide technical support to the implementation of the United Nations Decade on Family Farming that we are implementing jointly with IFAD, that it is another body of the UN system.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm going to introduce now Thales, also part of the Inofo network. Hi, Thales.
Hello. Good morning from Brazil. Yes, I'm an Inofo farmer and also a board member as a global relationship manager. I'm here replacing Karina, actually. So she had a medical issue. So I was driving. You can see my background. I'm in the car. I had to stop to talk to you, but I'm very happy to meet you, Andres, and also Guilherme. Good to see you all here.
Thank you for joining us, and I hope we hope Karina gets better soon.
Yeah. Thank you.
I also Shamika is ready. So, Shamika, are you there?
Yes, sorry, my internet just fluctuated, and you never know when it fluctuates. And I kept on talking and just realized that, oh, I am out of internet. So, yeah, that's the reality of ourselves on the farm as well. But, yeah. So, where did you hear me till? Where do I pick it up from?
So we stop at listening what Inofo was,
Uh-huh.
and I think that part is done. And then I just introduce Guilherme and Thales. So
Okay, good.
if you want, you
Yes.
can continue introducing our other two panelists.
Yes, no. So I will, as you have introduced, I'm sorry, Guel Herme Bradley, if you have introduced him already, I will not go into that, but I will then introduce the other speakers. And I guess you have finished with Thales, has introduced himself already. So I will go to Pratap. Pratap Marode is a passionate young organic farmer with a bachelor's degree in agriculture, and he continues the successful legacy of organic farming from his father. You already saw his video of I Grow Your Food. So he grows bananas, cotton, millets, wheat, pulses, vegetables organically for his family consumption as well as market. So he has and does natural pest management techniques for the production on his 40 acres of land. So, welcome, Pratap. Yes. And we have one more speaker from Kenya, Mercy Mangyange. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. From Nayakazi Organics in Kenya. She is a young entrepreneur who runs a vegetable dehydration enterprise uh, called Nayakazi Organics. And she basically buys the indigenous vegetables from the farmers, processes, does value addition, and packs them for sale. So, yeah, we have two farmers and one processor who is also connected with the farmers, and also one from FAO who has a broader perspective on the whole dynamics at the global level. So, yes, we have this wonderful panel today, and I will not take much of the time now because I've already lost in few in the internet as well as introducing all the organizations. So, I will now go to Guel Herme to just give us a setting of what family farming is about and how does FAO see it from their angle, and as well as from the ground we will hear from the farmers and the processors. So yes, over to you.
Thanks so much, Shamika. Thales, nice to meet you again. Congratulations, Pradap and Mercy, for the work. Brilliant. We all need more of you with us. So thanks a lot. Thanks for the invitation. Very honored to be with you in this edition of I Grow Your Food, focusing on the challenges and strengths in family farming. So as I mentioned in my introduction, we are responsible to support the implementation of the United Nations Decade on Family Farming. It was launched in 2019. It is a resolution from the General Assembly of the United Nations. So this is very important. It's a recognition that the United Nations is valuing family farmers all over the world, and they ask us to support the implementation of the decade, to strengthen public policies for family farmers, to strengthen investments to family farmers. And this will run from 2019 until 2028. Okay, and as you all know, family farmers are the pillars of our food systems. It's the huge majority of farmers in the world by far. It's around 90% of all the units in the world, and they are also the main producers of food in value terms. Also, around 70% of the food in value terms are produced by family farmers. Even by small scale family farmers, they are very, very important also for the food production, for their own consumption, but also to local markets, for instance. So this is crucial, and not only because they produce our food, but because of many of the aspects we've seen in the previous videos. No, the relation to the territory, the connection to the environment, the social aspects of all the job, the participation of all the family in the activities. So it's not only agriculture farming. No, it relates to several dimensions related to rural development, to rural territories, and therefore that's why it's so important to support them, to have them keep going farming. They have huge challenges, and they can also be a great answer to solve several aspects we have in our actual food systems. No, this is the big paradox. We have many paradoxes in our food systems nowadays. So, as you know, for instance, hunger levels worldwide are increasing in huge leaps. So the last SOFI, that is a flagship publications from FAO, it's the State of Food Insecurity in the World, that is published every year, estimated that global hunger it's still far above pre-pandemic levels. On average, about 735 million people in the world face hunger in 2022, 122 million more than in 2019 before the global pandemic. Overweight and obesity continue to increase in rich or poor countries alike, in rich or poor, poor segments of the populations inside a given country alike. So, guaranteeing the availability of and access to healthy diets remains an enormous challenge all over the world. In the past, we've been very focused, the world, I mean, the international community, on the need to produce more. No, after the Second World War, the need to increase, let's say, production. Nowadays, the big problem it's mainly availability and access to healthy diets to all the segments of the populations. And we also have big issues related to the environment in relation to our food systems. No, agriculture is responsible for around 30% of the biodiversity loss. We have big impacts on the soil, emission of carbon. So it's also we are full of paradoxes on how our food systems are working, and we have a lot to improve. And organic farming and family farmers can provide great solutions to those problems. Uh, so I think for all these reasons at COP30, no, strategies for agri-food systems in rural regions will need to take center stage in the discussions. And the current terms of the public debate on food transitions are not structured in a way that is consistent with the challenge outlined before, that I referred before. No, there are efforts to favor the proliferation of a vast array of rich and innovative experiences guided by this idea of healthy agriculture and eating. This is present, but it's not necessarily predominant yet in the public debate. So, despite the narrative claiming also that family farmers are inefficient, they continue to demonstrate that when they are supported with affirmative policies and programs, they have a unique capacity to readdress failures and weaknesses of agri-food systems, responding to global problems with contextualized local solutions. Now, these incredible potential family farmers and their organizations to provide effective and inclusive services, for instance, to their members. It's witnessed by emerging alternative of food logistics, distribution initiatives, market connections directly with consumers. So there are many and a vast amount of very positive initiatives that are happening and led directly by farmers or their organizations. The problem is that have never been so many innovative and important experiences, positive experiences with visibility, with scale. But at the same time, we never have the impacts of unsustainable models of agri-food systems being so negative at the same time. So the balance of these two vectors, it's zero or negative in the sum game. No, so it would be necessary for the segments challenging these unsustainable models to base their agenda on something more than the expansion of resources for localized niches of innovation, and to overcome the fragmentation of the agenda, we need a forceful idea capable of reorienting public policies towards a set of regulatory and incentive mechanisms. So I think in this phase we need to break the monotony that marks contemporary agri-food systems. This could be a new value to structure the transitions of models and the introduction of social objectives to environmental objectives. This is very important. Sometimes we see that the environmental agenda is overcoming the social aspects. No, for instance, bringing all the costs of transitions to the farmers again, and this is important. The transition is important, but the support needs to come together with the new requirements that are being asked to them to take care of, and it would be very important to operate in the triple criteria of efficiency, environmental, economic, and social. The remuneration, the economic remuneration to farmers also, it's an issue that needs to be considered. It's not an issue of questioning or claiming exclusivity for investments in family farmers, but rather of putting information on the table that allows decision makers to know where and how each dollar invested can only generate economic effects in this strict sense, and this can be accompanied by positive environmental effects. And with the same volume of investment, it would still be possible without jeopardizing the two previous efficiencies to also achieve greater social efficiency. So we need a better balance of the public support that exists. No, that we talk about, I think the key word for sustainable food systems is diversity. And we also need more diversity of public support, of public approaches on how to support farmers, to have a better balance on the support that is provided to family farmers. So the big problem considering this, it's that at the same moment that we desperately need more public policies to family farmers, we see at the same time a big lack of capacities from governments to operate public policies nowadays. And where it exists, a good set of programs, policies to support farmers, we also need innovations on how the public policies are implemented, new modalities, no, a better integration of policy areas to support them. Because this is missing. In several countries, we see that we still have uh, using the same old modalities from the Green Revolution on the post Second War, credit, rural extension, insurance, of course, that they are all important, but we need to think about innovations on modalities to support farmers as well, in order, for instance, to be able to provide environmental incentives to them. So I think these are some reflections I would like to share with you. This year is an important one. We are in the midterm of the implementation of the United Nations Decade on Family Farming. We're going to have a Global Family Farming Forum happening in October in Rome during the World Food Forum. And we are very glad to have Inofo with us, sharing your initiatives, your experience with us. And I would also like to invite you to have a look on the Global Action Plan of the United Nations Decade on Family Farming. You're going to find interesting aspects that could promote organic farming in public frameworks, under different pillars. We work with 7 pillars to support implementation of the decade. This is important because the way we are supporting the implementation is to help countries to develop their own national action plans and to bring some of these initiatives, priorities into their national frameworks. So knowing this framework, this global action plan, you could also use in the dialogue with your governments, in the dialogue with your organizations on how you can advocate, support the improvement of public policies in your context. So thanks so much again for the invitation, and would be glad to follow you on the debate.
Thanks a lot, Gulharme. It was wonderful to hear you. I mean, we know all these facts through the documents in some way or the other, but to hear from you directly, it is more important for the farmers, the recognition of family farmers, especially to solve the issues of the existing food systems. I think this appreciation and acknowledgement is much needed for the family farmers, and it many a times gets unnoticed locally, even it's not acknowledged. And as you said, if public policies are in place, the family farmers can actually do real wonders. I mean, they are doing wonders on the farm, but it doesn't get acknowledged or upscaled to that level that we expect to. So thanks for those wonderful words. And now, as he said, we will go down to the ground. And as he is also from Brazil, I hear, I will go to the Brazilian agroforestry farmer Thales, who also grows vegetables and mushrooms, to give his perspectives from the ground with the family farm. I know he doesn't have directly a generation to generation handed over family farm, but they have a family that they have started farming and have come back to the land. So I will ask Thales to share his story and how they started farming, and how family farming has its own challenges, but also has different opportunities on the ground. And you can share your experience. Thanks, Thales.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to share this panel with all of you. I've met almost all of you, just Pratap not yet, but I feel already like we are friends. So it's good to be here with farmers and also people from the main work that we are doing. As I told you, I'm here as a last minute invitation, so I didn't prepare my speech. And when I was hearing Guilherme, I said, okay, we can just dive deep into his points, because he has touched very critical and also important points. Sometimes I felt like, oh, I'm hopeful, and sometimes I was like, oh, I'm hopeless, because this is the reality. The system is that, what he means, like the paradox. The system is a huge paradox. And we, as a small-scale family, organic farmers, we feel it daily in our work, because we are doing a lot of positive things. We are trying to improve, to solve, and to face big challenge on climate, big challenge on our local levels, regional levels, even global levels. And at the same time, we are promoting the change. So how to deal with that? And this was one of the main inspiration to me to move to the countryside, to the farm area, because as you told, I didn't come from a family farm and background. I have born in the city, and then I moved to the farm from my own personal choice with my wife, and then we started farming. So we started from zero, from no knowledge, and then we started with agroecology approach. And it has been 12 years that we are farming. We have built our farm with agroforestry. We start with mushroom, with vegetables and some fruits, and then we shift to mushrooms. First, we like it a lot, and second, it's more profitable, to be honest. So it's less work and more profit for us. And a small scale, it's a good opportunity, because when we are farming at a small scale level, and then we have to have a main pillar, as Guilherme also shared, the diversity, it's a very, very hard to become a profitable farm with a small scale, with diversity. You have to move to monoculture to scale up your production. And then you go to monoculture, you will lose your diversity. And how to survive in this paradox in this system that pushes you to produce and to scale up and to give all this quantity, this amount. So that's why also mushroom also came as a solution for us. We keep growing some veggies and also some fruits, but our main crop is the shiitake mushroom. I also want to share one big challenge here, that is the climate crisis. I'm aware that all of us are facing it in different levels, in different perspectives, but here in Brazil, we have been affected by recently floods in the beginning of the year, and now it's a totally drought. So the two extreme realities in half a year, in one semester, it's affecting a lot. And we, as small-scale farmers working with agroecological approach, with organic farming, we can have more resilient systems, but we also face these challenges. And when we try to speak it out, to join this kind of international events, when we try to share our reality, it's also another challenge, because we have to leave our farms. We have to stay 1 week out. We have to stay 5 days, 2 weeks, whatever, to go to join, to speak as a farmer. And Inofo tries to make it. But then when we look it back, we have a lot of bills to pay. We need to survive. We need to provide to ourselves, to our family, and how to balance and how to give this equal share of income and also expenses. Because sometimes when we go to these events, we get some support for flights, for accommodations, for food, but the money that we are not earning from the daily work on the farm is not there. And then we always try to get farmers to these spaces, but we don't have this kind of budget, and the system is not looking for that. They are not trying to solve it, but we need to be there. And now I connected with this biodiversity COP that we will have next month in Colombia. We will have this event that Guilherme mentioned in Rome, which will be very, very important, and we as Inofo are very happy to collaborate. And 1 week after, we have this Colombia biodiversity COP. We have one Inofo member in Colombia, very close to Cali, where the conference will happen. And the conference, I think it's about 10 days. And we are trying to organize with other partners, with World Rural Forum, with a very strategic partner as well, to highlight, to promote their work with agroecological approach, with family farming, small scale. But then the representative was telling me, Thales, I'm sorry, but I can just join like for 2-3 days. I said, man, but why? It's near to you, it's near to your home. Because I have to work, I have to run my farm, and I don't have this budget to skip it and stay 1 week in the discussions. And we are talking about biodiversity. And who is running this biodiversity COP? The big monoculture sugarcane industry in Colombia. They are running it. We are trying to have a small space there as agroecological, small scale family farmers. But this, I come back to what Guilherme touched, the paradox. The system is a paradox. How to consortiate diversity farming, food systems inside an hegemonic monoculture individualist system is a big challenge. We are all together trying to find solutions. And when we see the results, as Guilherme mentioned, the balance in the end is like 0-0 or maybe negative. We have to keep optimistic. Otherwise, we have no path away. So trying to go into the end, I really hope that we are not going to another green disaster. We had the green revolution. It was a disaster. And now we are talking about green finances. We as small scale farmers, as family farmers, we are not seeing this money of the green finance. We are not seeing the money of carbon credit, of green mechanisms of finance. But this money is running around. But where is it to support us on the ground? So I really hope that we can find solutions to support this more than 90% of the real people who is producing the food around the globe. So thank you very much. I hope I could address some issues and challenges, and yeah, I'm here to discuss. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Thales, for those words. And it really helps to connect the global and the ground together when we go to these events, and as well as manage the farm. So thanks for those inputs. And now we will go to Pratap Marode from Maharashtra in India. And I also would like to tell, actually there was previously another speaker from Philippines called Maria Lisa. Unfortunately, the date didn't match with her, or the change of dates were not noted, but we will have her for the next session. Just to remind her now. But now we have Pratap Marode, who is also, as I already gave his introduction, he comes from a family farm, second generation farmer. And yes, so over to you, Pratap, for describing all your challenges on the ground with the family farm, as well as doing organic. Describe us your challenges on the ground, as well as how do you connect it to the global scenarios that you heard about, and how do you see a meeting point to maintain this balance, and also about the paradox that was spoken earlier. Over to you, Pratap.
Hello everyone from India. So basically, like we are doing family farming and organic farming, but I think as a youth nowadays farming is almost a challenge. Then you are doing farming with your family and organic farming. So it is the next level. That is what I think. I can relate what Thales told, because that same thing happens to me many times. Like you have to go to some event and you have to work on your farm. So the time management and all the things that he have described, that is also a challenge. Like I would like to thank all my family, because they are working in the farm now, and that's why I am sitting here and talking with all of you, because my mother is looking at that green gram. The plugging is started, harvesting is started. My father is looking at the banana plantation, and also the economical support of my sisters, brother, and my wife. That's why, like, they believe in me, and that's why I can do whatever, like, I'm doing, whatever you have seen in the video. So it is because of the support from my family. The challenges, as we look toward the challenges, the biggest challenge, as Thales also told, it is the climate change. Last year we had almost 400 millimeter of rain in 4 hours. That was like historical. That was never have been to our place. So in single 4 hours, there was like everything was flooded. Every river, every stream was flooded, and all the crops in the Kharif season, like we have 2 seasons in India, so all the crops in Kharif season were gone. Then after that, for 2 months, we didn't have a single drop of rain. So this affects very much while we are working on family farm. Like we sow diverse crop, we don't follow monoculture. And then when we sow something which gets harvested in 2 months, and like there are some pulses, then some crops get harvested in 4 months. So we need that time to harvest, like a patch of no rain. So when this rain come, all the crops are gone, or like we cannot harvest. So that's why in our area people have started monocropping with soybean, and nobody is sowing all the pulses we used to grow and we used to eat. So it is one of the biggest challenges nowadays we are facing. Also sometimes this year the rain didn't stop. Every day the rain comes, and like we are not able to do weeding, and like all the intercultural operations are like we are not good to look at the intercultural operations. The second challenge is labor. Like as we have somewhat, we say, big farm, not big, but we have 35 acres of land, and we need to put labor for some operations. So because of various things, like people don't believe in like working is a good profession, or like when I started farming like 8 to 9 years back, people said you are mad, you are crazy, and many things like that. So nowadays farming and like working in farming sector, people don't look that much money, or I think, I don't know, like they want comfort and they just want to earn money from comfortable things. So that's why labor is another big problem that we are facing. And another challenge is decision making. While we are like 6-7 people, we need to come to one decision, and we need to come to one point. Then we make many debates like on one topic, like we saw this, we saw that, and then my father says no, we don't do that. Like, so after many debates we come to one point, and then we come to common minimum thing, and then we go forward. So that is also a challenge when we are a family. And then also financial struggle sometimes, like 2-3 years we had some financial struggles because of we had diverse crops and marketing challenges. So it was one of the problem. But then as a solution we choose, like we grow some crops for market on a large level, like banana. Our area is famous for banana, so we started growing banana, and now we are good at it. So like we have categorized things, and then overcoming these challenges. When we look to strengths and opportunities, I see a very positive side when I look at my family and family farm, because as I said, decision making is difficult, but there are more minds to think and act. So as I said earlier, my mother is looking at some other thing, my father is looking at other thing, and many people support, so that the burden of, like, if any problem or anything comes, any risk comes, the burden don't get on me, and it gets divided in the people in the family. Second thing I see is, like, there are many generations, like my father's generation, he advises us, my generation, next generation. So we work together on the farm, and there is like his knowledge of 50 years of farming, so I get that knowledge from him while we make decisions. So if I would be a single farmer, that knowledge or that expertise I didn't get. So I think it is very beautiful thing that I get all this knowledge and all the things. As Guilherme said earlier, that there are these paradoxes about carbon emission and then global hunger. So I believe that family farming is like we can't say a solution, but we can go closer to that, because in family farming we grow food for our own family. So first agenda is we write down everything needed for the year for the family, and after that we look after, like, what we can sell for the market. So basically, while looking at our family, we look for other people's other families. So whatever is left, we can give it to the people. So I think that could be a solution, and the happiness we get, like I had said in the video also, the next generation, when they walk and they eat the fruits from the farm, fresh fruits. So I think that happiness we can't describe, and if you would not have been a family farm, it would be a difficult thing. Then knowledge transfer, as I have already told, that is one of the best trends that we can see. And diverse cropping we can follow, like when we work as a family, we can sow diverse family, because we need food for our own consumption. So that's why we sow diverse things. And if something we will not get, like if we sow banana and this year we had one disease on banana, so we will get another crop. So these things happens, and like we enjoy. The most important thing, according to me, while farming is the happiness we share together. Like when my father and I have some discussions, and we have the, like, now we are harvesting papaya from our banana. So we have 7-8 type of fruit at our home, and we are eating, and like it is very beautiful that, like, we eat all the fresh fruits. All the food grown at our like home is like 90% food is organic, and like it comes from our farm. So that I think it's the most beautiful thing, and most like it is like opportunity for us to eat our own food. So that's all from my side. And if any question or anything, like.
Yes. Thanks, Pratap, for this wonderful words. And I just felt as if I was on your farm, plucking the bananas and papayas and what all you mentioned. So, yes, thanks for this wonderful words. And having this ground experience from the two farmers, one with a generational farm and one with a new family farm, I think we will move on to the next step of food production system, that is the processor. So I will invite now Mercy from Nayakazi Organics, who is processing vegetables and other fruits and production from other family farmers in the area, to give her experiences and challenges of what are the challenges to coordinate with family farmers and the processing that she does about. Yes, so over to you, Mercy.
Afternoon, everyone. Thanks for this opportunity. My name is Mercy Manyange. I'm working for Nyakazi Organics, a youth entrepreneur who has come from a family farming, and I'm working closely with farmers in terms of coordinating them to bringing vegetables to the enterprise where we are doing the value addition. And in the process, there have been many challenges that we have recorded from the farmers who are doing the farming in families, because some of the farmers, one of the challenges is the collaborations with their partners or other family members. Some of them are not being allowed maybe to do the farming, or we find if it's the woman who is farming, the man doesn't allow them to access those finances from whatever they'll sell. So that's a very big challenge which we've encountered with our farmers. But we are working closely to also try and talk to them and see how they can also come together and have partnerships as farmers in terms of family farming. And also another challenge that we have encountered with them is in terms of, like, organic farming is a big process to most of the farmers in terms of adapting those methods. So you find that some of them, in terms of when it comes to pests and diseases control, it's a very big challenge to them. So you find that they've tried growing, but again, the pests have affected their produce. So making the produce to be at a lower volume, so they are not able to sustain themselves. Another thing that we have encountered with those farmers, you find that in terms of logistics, because for me, I'm in an entrepreneurial side. So the farmers have to bring the vegetables from their farm up to where we are doing the value addition. So some of them, they're coming from very remote areas where you find there is poor roads. So access for them to bring those vegetables to our facilities is a very big challenge to them that also needs to be addressed. And those are the ones that bring maybe some little conflicts in their home. So if they find maybe another different person who will go to collect the vegetables from the homes, so they might even opt not to be bringing to this other side. Though we've been trying to see how we can balance the two and also ensure on our side we have much supply from the farmers. Then something else that we have also observed is the access to markets. Like agroecology inputs have been having a lot of challenges in terms of going to the marketplaces because of the prices. Some of the consumers are not, like, they don't have the knowledge how of agroecology. So even if you tell them about the pricing of those produce, they tend to see, oh, maybe this one might be so expensive for us to purchase. So they want them to purchase at the same price with the ones who are practicing conventional farming, which shows some losses to those farmers. And something else is in terms of finances. Most of the families who we are working with are coming from excuse me, are coming from low class families. So in terms of income, you find they don't have much income for them to even purchase more inputs to use in their farms, which bring more challenges. So you find even others decide not to do the farming because of such challenges that are affecting them. Even us on our side as entrepreneurs, having market for the value added products, you see, like, the changes in consumer preferences. Most of the people were used to the fresh vegetables, and now for us, we are doing the drying of the vegetables. Now trying to convince them that these fresh vegetables are also have the same value with the dried vegetables is also a challenge to us, like here locally in Kenya. So you find most of the people can start giving us maybe referrals to the export markets, of which as a young enterprise, since Nyakazi Organics is only a year old, and there are some of the compliance measures that we are not able to meet. So that also becomes a hindrance to us in terms of selling our produce. Another thing with the organic farming is it needs certification. It doesn't look like the other conventional way. So if you are saying I'm an organic farmer and my produce, I'm working with organic farming, you find consumers are telling you, we want to see the evidence, like what shows like you personally produce those vegetables organically. So, and the certifications, we've been trying to do the processing, and those processes take a little more time, which also requires more finances for one to acquire. But even with some of those challenges, at least we've been able to try and see what we can do and how we can move on with the product. So we still continue to do more marketing with those produce, so that to ensure it reaches more people and also create more awareness to other people to be able to know what Nyakazi is doing, and also to be able to try and shift to consume the value-added products. And we've also been having some strength. As much as we have challenges in everything that we are doing, we have also recorded some strengths from the farmers. At least now, with the continuity of the empowerment from us to the farmers, we have been able to like put more community ties. Like when more communities are working together, they collaborate, and you find that there is the togetherness because of the teamwork that they have within themselves. So at least there is reduced conflicts, because you find we've given each community members have been given different roles to practice at their farms. So there is some togetherness in them. And also something else is, like, the community members have also been trying to apply the traditional knowledge to the modern organic farming, and we have seen it work to them, which also tries and helps in increasing their produce. And another strength for this organic farming is that there is increased demand in terms of markets. Now that the people have been going through some trainings on organic farming, they've started now knowing what they're supposed to do and what is the value of us practicing this organic farming. So there is some demand that is coming out, and even through the global action plan that is to come, we are also looking forward to it as an opportunity to us as entrepreneurs to also have a chance to pitch about the produce, so that many people can be able to access it. And with that, we know we shall have an increase in terms of market, because as many people from different regions have come together, we shall be able to learn from each and every person. Like they share their different ideas with us, and we also share with them. So with that, we can also build partnerships with different people with whom we can find that our products have even gotten an easier way to access into the export markets without even having to go through a lot of challenges to have those compliance. So maybe we can partner even with the people who are doing export, or some who are working either abroad. So we just be supplying them our produce. They might even be doing the repackaging for themselves, and then we can have our products moving. And also with this family farming organic, we have also been able to see that there will be some opportunity in terms of diversification. Now the families can be able to produce more, like different crops, either be it fruits with the vegetables, and with that it will increase their revenues at their places. Yeah, so if there are any questions for me, they are welcome. Thank you.
Yes, thanks a lot, Mercy. And it's wonderful to see how the initiative as a collective to support all the other farmers for their processing helps the communities, and not only the man farmers but also the women farmers have been encouraged and empowered to produce and process the organic food. So thank you so much for those wonderful words. And here we finish the first round of our interaction. But this time for the live stream, we have got 1.5 hours, which is very exciting this time, because last time we had just 40 minutes and we had to like really rush through the discussion. And the family farming or any other topics that we talk about through the farm and on the farm for the I Grow Your Food, there's so many things every day that we learn and we want to speak about that that time is not enough. So I will now go for a second round of discussion where if you can just pinpoint one statement or what can be done to promote and support family farmers going forward. Like I'm sure Guilherme already said a few things about a few actionables that have already been done as we are in the half of the decade of family farming. But also for going for the next 5 years, what should be done and what can be done together with the organic farmers as well, like going forward in the family farming is my next question to all of you. And we'll go in the same round. So you can also discuss, decide, think about your points going forward. So over to you, Guilherme, for the, again, the initial discussion. And then we go to the next person. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Shamika. I think my contribution can be, of course, more on the policy dimension. No? I think there is a great challenge. If we want to overcome the challenges, the paradoxes that we have in food system, we need to put back public policies at the table. Unfortunately, in the last decades, we've been thrown off ideas that the states needs to get out, and this happened everywhere. And the consequence nowadays is that the government lost capacity to develop, to implement, to operate public policies at scale. So we need to bring back the idea that public policies are important, and the national states, they need to be able to implement it. So we need to rebuild the capacities of governments on public policies and as a solution in the public agenda. Sometimes we see false solutions being said, that initiatives, fragmented initiatives. I think this is one issue. And I think with you all, we need to work on new modalities, new tools to implement policies that could be adapted, useful for agroecological practices. No? Because the conventional policies the traditional policies with the tools, the modalities that exist are not enough, even if they are very important. So how to support directly, specifically organic farmers, what is needed, the adaptations on finance, for instance, that are needed. I don't know, the new ways to promote incentives, fiscal incentives to the farmers that produce sustainably, or to the companies, the private sector that is buying from the farmers. So I think we really need to think on a new generation of tools to implement policies that are coherent with the new challenges that exist. So this would be my two suggestions. And we've been working with FIFON a bit exactly on this aspect, on public policies to organics, etc. I think we need to advance and to follow up on it.
Right. Actually, thanks a lot for that. And what I take from this discussion is such an important point that you mentioned, that many times public policy implementation, many governments are not ready, or they don't have the capacities to help and implement it. So that is also, we have seen many places in India where we have a policies about natural farming or organic farming, but on the ground, the officers who are supposed to train the farmers actually don't know what organic or natural farming is about. And in certain places, actually, our National Organic Farming Association of India president had been a trainer to these officials. So a farmer is training the officials at a certain locations, and this is something that we would like to upscale also in India going forward, but we are now only at a smaller level. So thanks for those inputs. And now I turn to Thalys. So Thalys, you also mentioned what would you see as the next steps for promoting and supporting the family farms going forward in the organic sector? Over to you. Also, if you can describe about if there are any existing policies in your country for family farming, you could also mention. As far as my knowledge, it's not, but it might be as well. So if you can just highlight also on that angle, it would be helpful for the discussion.
Yes, thank you, Shamika. Yeah, this point that Guilherme raised is very important, and we know it. We need it. In Brazil, actually, we have really good ones for family farmers. Of course, it depends who is running the country, if it's the left wing or the right wing. We always have these kind of changes in politics, but we have a very strong national family farming policy to support small-scale family farmers to access finance, to access to seeds or to machinery, to technology, also to sell our production to public schools, public hospitals, to the public sector, which when you prove that you are agroecological farmer or organic farmer, you get 30% more payment from the conventional price. And then the government normally takes about 2 to 3 months to pay you, but it's some way of selling your production. And then that's a good alternative to farmers who has some challenge or they're not that skilled to marketing or to sales. We know it's also some challenge for few farmers, not few, but a lot actually. I also want to share that another perspective from my side, as we are doing right now with this webinar, and also you said to promote, is the point of the communication. We are talking about public policies, but the whole society is one organism. And if we don't communicate to the society, the other way around, they are communicating. They are doing this greenwashing. They are doing this marketing very strong. We have to do agroecological washing. We have to do organic washing, on a positive perspective. And then when we create this awareness, we'll have more space because, okay, we work with the public sector, but we also work with the whole society. And if we have this awareness, the whole society will start to support more and more, to demand, to consume. And when there is demand, when there is consumption, the whole sector grows together. So I really want to phrase this point of the communication perspective, that we as individual farmers and we as organizations of organic farming, organizations of family farming, we have to strengthen our own capacities on that. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Thalys. I think it's a very important point, which we also kind of struggle in Inofo. But I see that Thalys's, if you can see Thalys's farm website, Pronobis, they are really good in communications. And I think your point of communicating out with the audience, which is our common community that we want to promote organic and natural. So I think that's a well point noted also for the as a learning for other farmers. So yes, thanks for those inputs. And now over to you, Pratap. How do you see policies, public policies, and what are the different opportunities you see to promote and support family farming, or any initiatives that you have taken with the community locally? Over to you.
As I was listening to Thals, and I was listening to this discussion, 2-3 things came to my mind. One is there was one poet in Marathi, Sant Jnaneshwar. So he had one poem. So two lines are like, अवघे विश्वाची माझे घर, ऐसी मती जयाची स्थिर, झाला चराचर तोची झाला चराचर तोची झाला. So it means who thinks that whole world is my family, he can connect to the world. So like while thinking about things of my childhood, I never had thought like without family there would be farming. Like now, today we are discussing about family farming and all, but as I look to farming, farming is not possible without family. That is what my understanding is, because it was used to be like that in India. If we read the history, it was like that. Like there were the responsibilities were divided. People used to come together, and there used to be a family of 20-40 people, and they used to work together in the farm. So it is not possible without family that you can do organic farming or any type of farming. As Shamika asked, like, is there any initiative? So I think family farming also supports community. So there was one pioneer in like Maharashtra. He died 2 years back. So he was Pandurang Chitode. He used to say that like if you want to build a country, or if you want to build a community that supports organic farming, you have to start it with a family. So if there are families together and they start working together in organic or in agroecology, then only it is possible to build a community. So what we have started with a small community, and then at our place, and so it is it is the region of Vidarbha in Maharashtra. So now we have started here with 4-5 communities, like 4-5 youth like me. We came together and we started discussion with our families. Then also in some districts, our friend is there, so they used to do organic farming since last 30-40 years. So now we have started one company also, Friends of Earthworm, farmer producer company. And the bigger problem ahead of us was like marketing of our produce. So now we have started bringing our produce together and selling it together. So this will help our family and our community to build some policies for family farming, or whatever we say for organic or agroecology. Then I see as government started natural farming and all these policies in our state. So it was started first in our state, and then it was adopted by other states in India. So they started, but like I see that there was one thing was lacking. There was no participation of women. They formed some groups like 12 farmers or 20 farmers from one village. They come together and they form a group. They give one name to that group. So various groups come together and they form one company like that. But there was no participation of women. And in that scheme, they only give support for some they give some tanks or some organic pesticides or organic insecticides. And there was lack of support for market, and there was lack of support for like knowledge. That's what I see. If there would have been like support for knowledge, and they would have some policies for family farming, and then you can have your vegetable, you can grow your vegetables together. So that then only that family would have been came together, and they would have been continuing that method. But after 3 years, that program got unsuccessful, because there was only one agenda. They were giving things instead of knowledge, and all the groups, they come together only for getting that things, and then it just vanished. When the project stopped, everyone stopped doing organic farming. So my point here is that if on policy level, any government, or like if we are suggesting to to governments or to organizations, there would be 100% participation of women. That is what I feel, because only my mother is there. That's why we are like we our seed is kept in good condition. My father, me, I have like, we don't have that sense, and like we don't have that what we say patience to keep things together and to for a whole 1 year and then sow it and like that. But I think that my mother keeps all the seed. If her participation is lost in our farm, then everything is lost. So that is most important thing for family farming on policy level. 100% women participation is very important. And then if they are forming groups, there would be some conditions like 50% groups or 50% members should be women. So that will help that will help more women coming and more families coming and women coming in the decision making. That things will grow and that things will continue even if the project is not there. Women will take over all these things and they think for their family. Because another example I will give, if like nobody have eaten anything in our home, my mother is the last person who eats food, so she will care for me, my brother, my father, everyone. So when this happens with farm, women will think for like whole, and then they will not only think for their family or their community, they will think for everyone, and they will help growing fruit for everyone. So that is what I say, as this is I grow your food so campaign. So I say that women participation is must on the policy level. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Pratap. And it is very important when a man says this also on such forums, because many times we have been saying it quite some time. But when men say this on such forum and acknowledge their mother, their sister, their wife for their contributions on the farm, I think it is very important, because we see many women even don't acknowledge their own efforts of being a part of farming. They think it's just their responsibility to do it and they just do it naturally. But as a woman farmer myself, we lack the recognition of being a farmer also. So yes, I totally appreciate what you just said about women participation in policies, if and when the policies happen in our countries. Yes, but we should definitely promote. Yes. So now over to you, Mercy. So from your perspective of coordinating a group of community who is giving you the vegetables for processing, how do you see policies and family farming connected and the situation in Kenya? Over to you. And how will you help and promote, strengthen the family farming there?
Thank you, Shamika. I think for me, I also emphasize on what my co-speakers have also said on how to promote the family farming. And on my side, in terms of policy, what I can say is that the community members to be in the front line in terms of coming up with community participation so that they can come up with policies that are favoring them. Because most of the time you see that the government is the one that are implementing those policies by themselves, not involving the communities. So when it comes to the ground, you find more communities have the policies, but they even don't know what to do with them because there is no policy that favors them. So first, to put the farmers on the front line, and since the farmers are working in either groups or in different families, we can be appointing one of the members from each group or each family to go and have the participation and air out their voices or different ideas in terms of coming up with policies. And also on the side of, as an entrepreneur working with farmers, what I can also say that we can also look for public-private partnerships whereby the government can come together with young entrepreneurs and see how we can link up together so that in terms of the compliance issues, they can be shortened. Maybe they can also have some right shops to see what does these young entrepreneurs need, because some of the measures that are put in place, you find most of the entrepreneurs are not able to meet them. So that one, you find it hinders them from maybe going to venturing into more different markets. So at least we have the public-private partnerships, having stakeholder meetings with different government institutions so that whatever is put in place is able to favor everyone. So that when we are also saying the family farming, we ensure that each and every person in that family is able to be covered in those policies. Thank you.
Yes, thanks a lot, Mercy. It's very important points that all of you have brought together. And we see public policies as the way forward. Then we see communications is the way forward to tell the audience what we are doing on our farms, because many a times they don't know about it. Then we also heard how knowledge is important to share between through the public policies, as well as make some platforms where the knowledge exchange happens. Thankfully for Inofo, we are doing that. And this also is one platform for sharing our knowledge there. And also the women participation in public policies is what we heard. And finally, we heard about how we can have public and private partnerships going forward to promote family farming. So I think it's a wonderful, we have heard from a different perspectives, from the ground processing, and as well as from the FAO organization. So we heard all the sides. Now I would like to open the floor for any questions from the audience. You can ask questions to all the speakers who are here, and you can type it to us on the chat. And also let me know if you have any questions. And let's wait. Andres, do you see any questions on your side?
At the moment, I don't see any questions, more comments from people who have participated previously in our campaign. But we invite you right now to post your picture, your questions, and I will bring them up here in the screen.
Yes, as we wait for the questions to come, please put your questions in the chat, and we will take it up with the speakers. And as the questions are coming and on the way, if any one of you speakers want to ask any question to Guilherme, or if you want to ask any of the speakers here from the farming side as well as the processing side, till we are getting any questions from the audience, we can have this discussion. What do you think?
Yes. You want to come, Andres?
No, please.
Yes, I would like to ask Guilherme, assuming, of course, that I didn't read the document that you have mentioned in the beginning, the global strategy, and I'm interested to read it after that. But if you can share briefly, what are the most successful actionables from this UN decade of family farming until now? As you mentioned that we reached the midterm. And also, how can it be, or how is it shared to the whole farming community? Thank you.
Thank you, Thales. Very good one, very broad one as well. So let's say we have from every 2 years we need to report back to the Secretary General of the UN the results of the implementation. So I can also share with you later the 2 reports that were already presented with all the results from each biennium, let's say. But the ones that I think are easier to gather, to fix. One big target that we have is to support the implementation of national action plans on family farming. Exactly because one of the crucial mandates from the decade is to strengthen public policy. So it's a way to commit and to have a kind of an agreement between the farmers organizations, the national farmers organizations, and the governments about the priorities, the key elements that needs to be advanced. So, and so far we achieved 16 countries developing national action plans on family farming, but also 3 sub-regional intergovernmental spaces that also developed frameworks for family farming. And this helps, of course, because as intergovernmental spaces, they have a number of countries. For instance, we developed together with the Central American Integration System. So it's composed by 8 countries. So all of them has this common framework developed at sub-regional level. So if we consider also the countries that are under these intergovernmental spaces, we already have 40 countries with a framework to develop, to improve policies to family farmers. Beyond that, I think it's also a good results in terms of dialogue spaces. We monitor that we have around 80 coordination spaces alive at national level in around 50 countries. So this means spaces of dialogue among farmers organizations and the government to improve, to discuss how to participation, inclusion in the discussions. This is also very important in our opinion, in order to have the policies that the farmers need. No, and another big mandate that we have, and as the type of organization that FAO is, it's to develop knowledge on family farming. And we have invested a lot on technical products to support the governments to implement the policies. So as we've been discussing, that public policies we have a lack of capacity. We develop a learning framework for farmers organizations and government officials on public policies to family farmers. So we brought the consistent theories, how to do public policies, and we combine it with 14 case studies of concrete policies to family farmers to illustrate different aspects. And this is a learning framework that we've been implementing it with farmers organizations, with governments in different regions, different countries. And beyond that, several products related to legislation on family farming, analyzing the main components, what needs to be present in a legislation recognizing family farmers. So analysis on legislations, on registries, to family farmers, in order to give affirmative access to policies. This kind of concrete products that helps to advance the technical elements that are needed for the governments to develop policies.
Yes, great. Thank you, Guilherme, because it's many times we see that we get these documents or we download them, but as farmers we hardly have capacity to go through the entire document and understand and articulate ourselves. So thanks for those important pickup berries for us. And any other questions do we have? I still don't see any questions from the audience. Their general comments appreciating.
Yes, they are appreciating the panelists. They are saying hi from different regions. At the moment, I don't see many pictures, many questions, but I do have a question for all of you.
Okay.
Because something that you were mentioning during this time is that it feels that you are faced with a lot of multitasking, not only on your own farm, but also in your efforts to communicate and make some advocacy or send some advocacy messages throughout your own network. And I wonder, how can you cope with all of these? What will be a good, honestly, because like in my daily life, as someone who doesn't own a farm, I already have a lot of things to do, and I also have a family, and I cannot imagine on top of that having my farm and taking care of all of these. This is really amazing, but I know and I understand that there is a need for farmers to become more vocal on what they need to, and in ways that we can all support their work, because it is a fundamental work. So more concretely, my question is, what tips do you have for those farmers who are interested in sending messages throughout the world? What kind of tools they can use? What has been your experience? Maybe we can do a short round so it doesn't become a long monologue, and we can go one by one. Shamika, you could tell us now. You can let us know who can go first.
Yes, tell us.
Yes, I don't know if we are proud or ashamed by this reality, but yes, we have to slow down sometimes, but we cannot, because we are a lot of things. The first tip is using this, it's on everywhere in the world has one phone, on smartphone, and we can communicate easily by social medias and other tools. Second one is join some local regional farmers organizations that will represent you, that will speak out and as you are interested, you will get space within this organization, and then you will get more space, and you'll try to network, because as Inofo is an intercontinental network, we are a network, all of us here. So as much as we grow our network, as far we can go. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Thalys, for those quick remarks. And it's a very good question, but I'm not sure I also have the answer. So I give it to Pratap. Pratap, what's your view? You are muted.
Like when we have to put something about a farm or like any creative thing, like many times I just go on like any social media platform or Facebook or something, just type and then erase. So many times it is like I don't think that it should be shared, or it should be like it is something that should be appreciated. Even though the video I shared, so I didn't know like I am doing so much things. So I think that when we work on ground, we don't we don't know what we are doing, or like sometimes we don't appreciate ourselves also. So I think the people working on ground, they should be appreciated. There should be like this platform. Thanks this platform that all these things, family farming and all these things are discussed, and like there is a global platform that farmers like me, or like they're working on ground and they can share their views and thoughts. So there is need of such platforms, and like something that shares the stories of farmers from ground, even though they are not doing organic farming only, but many things are there on ground and the challenges that are faced by farmers. So I think sharing more, and like as Thal said, there is everyone have these, we can share things from that. But I think more interesting, more creative things, and like using folk, like as we have some traditions of folk songs, and like in history we had some poets and like that. So if we use cultural things, it will relate more to people. Like when we see reels, there is something that these people show that it is something, there is like culture. And now what we are doing, if we connect these things and use cultural in our ideas, then because every country, like in India we have culture related to agriculture. So basically agriculture also have culture in that. So
For sure,
if
yes.
yes, so if we use our cultural thoughts, cultural songs and everything, it will be more impressive, it will be more connecting to people like all over the globe, and they can relate and connect to the things. That's what I think.
Okay, thanks Pratap for those comments. Anything else, Mercy? Do you want to add anything to the question, like how do we all do multitasking? Anything from your side quickly?
On my side, what I can say, when someone is starting something, it becomes very difficult to know what to do where. But I think as time goes by, everything aligns itself. But so what I can say, it's collaboration. So if you collaborate with your other partners, be it farmers or the people whom you're working with, so each and every person know their roles. So you find that it's not at every time that you'll need to be looking for people to do something. So whenever someone knows their roles, even the farmer, whenever they have the vegetables, they'll have to call you and tell you that, oh, I have this and that. So it doesn't have to be me just keep on following the farmer. So collaboration is everything.
Yes, thanks, Mercy. Thanks a lot. And I think if our vision is clear, and if we know what we are here for, and then whatever tasks come on our plate, we just keep on doing them. I don't know how we really do it, and it's amazing to see how all the farmers are doing this, especially also balancing the international forums, computer and farm. I also don't know how I do it. Many times people ask me, and I also don't know how this happens through us, so as farmers. So I really acknowledge all the efforts done by farmers on the ground, trying to bring all the knowledge outside, as well as managing all the tasks on the farm. So yes, Guilherme, do you have anything last words, or should I give it back to Andres?
No, not from my side. Just very happy to join you in this conversation. I've been sharing here with you some materials that I mentioned that could be shared with the participants. Unfortunately, I cannot post in the comments, but feel free to share with them, please. And very happy to be with you all.
Okay, great. Thanks. And thanks for your time, all of you, not only Guilherme from FAO, but also the farmers who have brought their time out of their farm. And I'm sure a lot of work is getting on hold when you are speaking here for the last 1.5 hours. So thanks a lot for your time and efforts to come here. And thanks to Innofo and iFoam for giving this opportunity to bring the farmers' voices together. So thanks a lot. And I give it back to Andres. Over to you, the technical support team from iFoam.
Thank you so much, Shamika. Thank you, everyone, for joining. As you saw, we have a lot of ground to cover if we want to make sure that not only farmers are producing what they need to do for their work, but also supporting them in doing so. And this is one of the platforms that I think are really helpful for that. I shared in the comments in all of our social media channels the resources Guilherme shared with us. So feel free to join and use them as you would like to explore them. Then I also want to invite you, all of you, to share the messages from the farmers that you can find in agrowyourfood.bio. And finally, please remember that the OWC is taking place at the end of the year. So go to owc.bio and register if you feel interested in traveling to Taiwan and getting to know our vast network in organic agriculture. Finally, I think it will be a nice way to finish this panel by first thanking Innofo and Shamika especially for all the coordination and moderation. And secondly, maybe showing one of the videos that we have for this year. And with that, I think good day for everyone. Thank you so much. Here is a video from a farmer in the Philippines. Goodbye.
Sigad dyan agsaba tayo ni man. My name is Concepcion Sotero, organic farmer, and I'm living here in Tublay, Benguet, Philippines. I am a organic farmer since 2010 until now, and of course in the future. So I am working with the TOFPA Cooperative and with the partnership of Naturland. I am encouraged to practice organic farming because I want my family and my community to consume safe and chemical-free vegetables and fruits. I also want to help in the restoration of the soil as well as the preservation of the community's ecology. Lastly, I want to show that organic farming works, profitable, beneficial to the community and to the environment. Before, I used to work in the office, but now I focus in organic farming and I feel good, I feel better and more productive. And now, we not only have a direct market, but we don't have to worry about the price fluctuation. I would like also to encourage our policymakers to continue supporting our organic agriculture program and to our valued consumers to continue patronizing our organically produced products.